that I forgot to do in the last video. This is how to so this is switch 2, and this oh this is sorry, this is switch switch 3, switch 3, and this is server 1. So now we want to connect the routers so the routers can now talk to each other. We have created individual ones. We get the .1 LAN, .2 and .3 LAN. So now we want this router now to communicate with each other. So now currently there is only one more interface available here, but we need two more interface to connect to router 2 and to connect to router 3. Same for all of these other routers. So since we've got one interface, we need to create another interface, and can add another interface. We're using these slots in these routers. These are empty slots that can add interface modules to. So you come in a module, the modules, and this name 2T. You take this you add sorry, we have to put the router off first. So enter the router and like save our commands that we did. Enable the right. We have now save what we want to this router. So come to the physical parts, you turn the router off again, and I can add the module which is named 2T. You add it to the empty space here, and then we put the router on. This single, as you can see, give us two more ports. These are called serial ports. I want to use the serial ports to connect the routers together. So you close this router one again, you open router 2, do the same thing, you turn it off. First of all, you save what you done, enable and write to save it. Then we go back to the physical mode, you turn it off and add this other port, same name 2T. We add it again, we put the router on again, we do the same thing for router 3 here again, opened. Make sure you save the router first. You save any configuration you have done on the router before you put it off. You close again put the router off. You add the 2T module, and you put it on again, and then you close it now. Now the router, each of the router initial 2 ports each. So now the router has like 3 more ports available. So we use connection. Now we're not going to use straight to or crossover. We're going to use this CLDCE. These have serial porting, and for serial port we use serial connections. So say CLDCE from router 1, serial ports here, /0/1/0. So router 2 again, 0/1/0. And remember, you can choose any of the serial ports you want. Any of the serial ports, you can just select any of them. But you need to make sure you remember which interface go which way. For example, CR0/1/1, you come to our router 3 0/1/1, and then router 2 again, this CR interface goes here. Again, remember each interface points to where. So the CR0/1/0 go to router 1, and sorry, from router 1 to router 2. And for router 1 0/1/1 move to router 3. Remember the serial interface because they are important when we do the routing. So from the next video now we're gonna give IP addresses to each of these interfaces and configure the IP addresses. Okay, just do it now. Sorry. So take the place notes and place the IP address, IP block here. So since this is router 1 and this is router 2, we're gonna say 1, 2 for router 1 and router 2. That is showing the connection. Remember, I can give it any IP address one. This 1, 2 is just for easy, so you can understand it better. So .0 0/30. /30 gives you two IP addresses. So when you use /30 for two IP addresses, you just need two. But I don't want to waste a lot of blocks, we're going to use /30. Again, here for router 1 and router 3, we're using 1 and 3 dots 0.0.0/30. Same here for this part. This is router 2 and 3, so it's 23.0.0.0/20/30, sorry. And /30 gives two IP addresses. /30 gives you two IP addresses. So now since we're getting the IP addresses now, we're moving on to this interface here. So this interface here, why is it on? So let's go enable config. See, okay, let me just go back and go interface brief to show anything. Okay, show IP interface brief. So we're gonna see the interfaces now. I did not put on this here port on, so we'll see what is wrong now with this. It should be red, it's still turned on. Sorry for the mix up, so we continue where we stop. Enter router one. Now in the privilege, say exit back to back. So now we're now in user mode. Move now to privilege mode, enable and config T to move to the global configuration. I remember the interface we say interface S0/1/0. And now in this interface, moving to R2 here, and we say IP address for 12.0.0.1. This is the first one after this 8.1. And for the subnet matrix 255.255.255. CC/30 slash in 252/30. See no shorts. I've not open it up again. So move now to this one. I'm moving downwards here to say interface S0/1/1. Moving to R3, configure that interface also. We say IP address 13.0.0.1. This 13 here dot 255.255.255.252/30 and say no shutdown. We have put the IP address for both of these interfaces here. So now we move on to R2 now. R2, we want to R2 command line, sorry, command for R2. We're also now usable to enable to privilege config T, so global configuration. And then remember the interface. The interface going to R1 is S0/1/0. Interface S0/1/0. And then the interface now, again, we give it IP address 12.0.0.2. Because I give router 1.1, we're going to give it .2. 255.255.255.252. No shutdown. And then moving on to the interface, moving towards our R3 here it is interface S0/1/1. Interface S0/1/1. We enter again, and that interface with IP address 23.0.0.1, because this is the first one, yeah. 255.255.255.252. I remember a common mistake people do is when once they enter this mode, they forget to also change the interface. This interface is the one for this IP address is one going here, and this IP address is one going here. Always want to change the interface that you're putting the IP address in. No shorts. So we've solved or put the IP addresses here, and now from the garbage parts. So from the R3 parts now, R3 again, when user mode, say enable privilege mode, config T to global configuration mode. And the interface going to R1 is interface S0/1/1. This interface going here. Just remember the interface where they point to. It's very important. Say IP address 14.0.0.2. This IP address for this part 255.255.255.252. No shorts. Create about this and this interface going to R2 interface S0/1/0/0. IP add 23.0.0.2 because I give it as a 2.1, give this dot 2 now. 255.255.255.252. No shuts down. So we're giving this each of them IP addresses. So we check now router 1. The interface going to router 2 now has 12.0.0.1/30. I don't we don't write it 12.0. Same here again, we check I2 police. We see that we have gotten IP addresses now. So in the next lecture, we're going to configure now the name Patrick is static routing to see different LANs over here, communicate with this LAN over here.